Let's be real for a second. When you're booking a vacation, you're probably thinking about beaches, drinks, and just escaping. But this quote from the co-founder of Lonely Planet really hits home, doesn't it? It kind of makes you think about what might be hiding just behind that perfect Instagram shot. So, what if choosing where you go, or where you don't go, could actually be one of the most powerful statements you make all year? What if your travel dollars could literally change the world? Let's get into it. This is what we call the traveler's dilemma. It's this messy, complicated place where our vacation plans slam right into our personal values. And today, we're going to try to unpack what it really means to travel with a conscience. Now, a key tool in this whole conversation is something called a tourism boycott. I mean, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's when a whole bunch of travelers decide together, nope, we're not going there, all to protest something they disagree with. It's basically voting with your wallet, but on a massive global scale. Now, if you're a fan of boycotts, you probably see it as a big ol' stick. It's a way to put some serious economic pressure on governments, especially in places that really depend on that tourist money. The idea is to hit them where it hurts until they change their ways. And people use this stick for all kinds of reasons. I mean, look at this list. We're talking about massive issues like human rights violations and anti-LGBTQ+ laws, but also things like animal cruelty, like the seal hunts we're going to talk about in a bit, and even protesting entire governments that activists believe shouldn't be in power. And this isn't some new trend, not at all. Travel boycotts have been around for a while. One of the most famous examples was back in '96, when Aung San Suu Kyi called on the world to stay away from Myanmar. More recently, you've seen campaigns around Botswana's treatment of its indigenous people, and, of course, the ongoing boycotts related to Canada's seal hunt. And this quote from Aung San Suu Kyi just perfectly sums up the logic, right? It's so clear. Her argument was simple. If the money you spend on vacation goes directly into the pockets of an oppressive regime, well, then cutting off that money isn't just a choice, it's a moral duty. But here's where it gets tricky. Because for every action, there's a reaction. So let's flip this around. When tourists decide to stay home, who actually ends up paying the price? And this right here is the heart of the problem. The intended target is the government, the regime, the people in power. But who often feels the actual impact? It's the local tour guide, the person who runs the small hotel, the artisan selling crafts in the market. It's the everyday people who are often caught in the crossfire. So, this leads to a completely different school of thought, sometimes called citizen diplomacy. The whole idea here is that going to these places is actually better than staying away. By visiting, you can see things for yourself, you can make sure your money goes directly to local people, and you can build connections that break down barriers. It's engagement over isolation. So we're left with these two massive questions, right? Does the economic pressure of a boycott actually create real change? And how do you balance that possibility against the very real harm it can cause to local communities? To really get our heads around this, let's look at a case study where these two forces are clashing head-on. Okay, we're heading to Namibia. It's a country that's facing a huge decision, a choice that's being driven by a global fight over its traditional seal hunt versus the growing power of ethical tourism. And this little guy, the Cape fur seal, is right at the center of it all. In Namibia, this animal isn't just wildlife. It represents two totally different paths for the country's economic future. So on one hand, you've got the seal hunt. It's a traditional industry that's been around for a long time, selling seal products on the international market. And on the other hand, you have this newer, booming industry, seal-watching tourism, bringing in visitors from all over the world who just want to see these animals in the wild. Okay, so let's follow the money, because the numbers here tell a fascinating story. First up, the seal hunting industry. Back in 2005, it brought in about 4.9 million Namibian dollars a year. That's about $500,000 US. Okay, remember that number. Now check this out. Just a few years later, the seal watching industry brought in 18.6 million. That's about $2 million US. I mean, that's nearly 4 times more money. The economic argument here is, well, it's pretty staggering. And it's not just about the total cash, it's about jobs. This is what really brings it home. The seal hunt supports around 86 jobs, mostly in processing. But seal watching, it supports 263 jobs. That's almost 3 times as many people working as guides in hotels, in restaurants. The impact is so much wider. And look at this map. This conflict isn't happening in different parts of the country. The hunting grounds and the tourist spots, They're often the exact same place, like here at Cape Cross. They are literally fighting for control of the very same beaches. It's a direct clash. So, what the Namibia case shows us is that the alternative to a controversial industry isn't just saying no with a boycott. It can be about promoting a better, more profitable, and more sustainable option. This brings us to a whole different strategy, one that moves beyond the stick to something we can call the carrot. So here it is, side by side. You've got the stick, which is all about punishment. Do something we don't like and we'll stay away. And then you have the carrot, which is all about reward. Do something positive and we'll show up and spend our money to support you. This is a total mindset shift, right? Instead of asking, where should I avoid? The question becomes, where can my vacation actually do some good? It's about actively using your trip to encourage and reward the places that are trying to get it right. So, what can you actually do with all this? Well, it means your choices matter a lot. It really comes down to 3 things. First, do a little homework before you book. Second, pick companies that are serious about responsible travel. And third, when you're on the ground, try to make sure your money is going into the hands of local people, not just some faceless corporation or government agency. Because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Your next trip isn't just a getaway, it's a choice. It's an economic vote. So the real question isn't if you're going to have an impact. You are. The question is, what kind of impact do you want to have? Are you going to use the stick, or are you going to offer the carrot?